Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to actually continue doing the bokeh technique and yeah, we're going to actually make a layout, okay? So on the Saturday when I was helping Anna learn, I created this background that's right below my cutter, and now we're going to create it or change or make it into an actual layout. And I'm just using a selfie that I had already printed. I trimmed it down to 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then that allowed me to make this cut at 3 by 4, and then another mat that's going to be 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. All right, and then once we have that, that's our photo, and we're gonna go ahead and start putting it together because I know the photo is going to be the main image, and then around it we're just going to use the different elements. So we have some ephemera, we have some stickers, we have some chipboard, and we're going to create our layout using those items. Okay, and we'll go ahead and get this photo on. All right. And this is a version of the bokeh. You can look it up on YouTube and you'll find so many videos on different crafters actually creating this. I know Vicky Booten has quite a few videos. It's fun. You can do it with different colors. You can change the weight of the ink that you're putting down on the paper to give it more of a faded in the background look, with some of the brighter colors coming forward. I've never done this one on the black foundations paper, so that's why I really wanted to play with it on this. And what I did was I used black soot, hickory smoke, and lost shadow to create the grays. And then for the pinks, I used spun sugar, kitsch flamingo, and picked raspberry. And it's turned out so pretty. So now I'm just going through the ephemera pieces. Ooh, and trying to figure out exactly which pieces we're going to use. I was going to take the 6x8 paper and maybe do some punches of some of the pattern paper. And then I decided that I really just wanted to use mostly the ephemera pieces and stuff like that, and just create sort of like a cluster with the photo and then a title and call it a day, pretty much. You know what I mean? Because I really don't want to cover up a whole lot of the actual bokeh technique that you're seeing on the background. So with this chipboard, this one has the camera still with the snapshot. I have two of them, and they're both partially used. But this one still had the camera and the word snapshot, so we're going to use that. And then I think I'm going to put some of these gold circles down. And at first I'm going to put down 5, and then, of course, you can never have enough. So, yeah, I wind up putting a whole lot more down. You'll see that as we get towards the end. I was going to use the puffy stickers, but I'm not going to lie, I totally forgot about them. They're sitting right there. I see them, but I don't see them. Okay, so we're just going to start making up our layers here. All right. And if you get an opportunity to, I did do a live video yesterday evening at 8 p.m. You guys can go back in there and take a look at what we did, what we played with. On that one, I did not do the bokeh technique here. I just did a layout for my little scrapbook store, so you can check that out. And then, of course, we got a video that'll be coming up on Friday. So, yeah, there's a lot happening. All right, so now we're just going to glue all that down, and I'm putting my glass block on it to kind of help it to adhere. Excuse me. And then I just push it up a little bit so I can put down the camera. And then we're going to do the word snapshot. Get that down. And I use the wet glue on mostly everything. Some of the items I do use sometimes the tape, my little tape runner there, but most of the time, especially when I'm using like layering up on ephemera and elements like that, I do use glue because it gives me a little bit of time where if I want to like kind of sneak something underneath or, you know, add something to my layers, I would be able to do that without tearing up my paper. Okay. And then I was just looking through the sticker sheet and there was a circle with a camera. So I'm going to put that up at the top with a little piece of foam. Oh, and by the way, I am using Sweet Rush. And I liked the idea of using it, one, because I had it near me. And two, I was like, I gotta use this stuff up, you know? And I had the 6x8 pad in there and then all of the embellishments. I was like, this is perfect. This is gonna work out good. So we're just adding little circles here and there, trying to stay in the circle family because that's what we've, you know, got on our background. I know like sometimes it's hard for people to use like stars and circles. To me, it's got to be what you like, you know? Because at the end of the day, if you don't like it, it's definitely not going to work for your project. Okay. All right. And then now we're going to put a little banner up at the top. And I think, yeah, I do put these 3 hearts around, but I try to keep them close to the photo itself, as close as I can, just so that I'm using the hearts, but it doesn't take away from our circles in the background, basically. All right. Now I'm still looking through the sticker sheet, and then I find like these 3 different sets of words. So underneath snapshot, I put smile lots, and then we're going to find, and I think I put that up towards the top. I do. It's just a snapshot, and then I got captured, and then another one I'm going to put on the left-hand side. It's going to say hashtag all smiles. And, oh, there, I think I find it there. Do I find it? Right there. I'm like, I know it's there. I'm like, I just did this video. I know it's there. All right. And then I decided to grab this piece that looks like, you know, it was torn out of a notebook. And I did that because I was like, you know what? When am I going to use it? I don't know. Might as well just use it now. That's literally what I was thinking. I was like, I have that little piece up at the top. I was like, let me put this at the bottom. This will just help tie everything in. And then the only other thing I need to do is actually put glue underneath the gold circles that we put down everywhere. Which right now what I'm trying to do is pull one out because it wound up getting hidden. So now we're just putting a little bit of glue underneath the ones that I already had spread about. And then I'm also going to grab the sheet and start peeling some more off. So I'm putting one in the center of the camera, the big chipboard camera. And then we're going to put another one over here. I had a little smudge I wanted to cover. And then one up by the details up there. And there was a little piece of something on it that I had to peel off, which is what I was doing there, and then glue that down. And that's it. I think that's really cute. Like, it shows that you don't have to do a whole lot with your layouts. You can just put a photo technically in the center, create you a big cluster with that photo, and you have a layout. It can be just that simple. These techniques are so fun, and you don't have to do just a portion of the paper. You can keep going. I could have brought those circles, you know, all the way over to the left, but at the time when I was doing it, I stopped because I was like, oh, I could put a photo right here. Like, in my mind, I already saw this layout. Do you see what I'm saying? So I hope you guys have liked this technique, that you enjoyed seeing how to do it yesterday in our Technique Tuesday video. And I think I asked on that one, but if you want to see some more of it, just leave a comment down below. That way I know what to work on the next video, or to like bring it up again in my repertoire. All right, you guys, thanks again for joining, and I so appreciate you. Consider hitting that thumbs up and subscribing, and I will see you guys with our next video, which should be on Friday. All right, y'all, have a great day.